Hello? This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here, hope you're all doing well, and in this video we're going to be talking about a brand new Star Wars video game, potentially being a Mandalorian video game at that, and furthermore on what Giancarlo Esposito has to say about this potential video game at that, and how he wants his character of Moff Gideon to actually appear in this new game. So we're going to hop right on into it and talk about this. In this video I'm going to be taking a read from StarWarsNews.net, and I'm going to have their full article linked down in the description down below for you guys to also check out as well. Recently appearing and speaking at a Q&A at a fan expo in Canada of 2022, Giancarlo Esposito joked that he wanted to reprise his role as Moff Gideon for a massive upcoming Star Wars video game. This was spotted by r/Star Wars Leaks first over on Reddit there as well. The writer of this massive Star Wars game supposedly is named Navid Karari. Sorry if I mispronounced his name, please forgive me on that. He has potentially already has spoken and worked with Esposito on Far Cry as well, another game under the Ubisoft umbrella as well, the publisher that owns this massive Star Wars game. And on top of that, I have to be completely honest, I think I've been misspeaking here just a little bit here in regards to what the article is trying to really truly convey here to us, is that the fact that the Star Wars game is called massive at that. They're not calling it a massive Star Wars game. The name of this potential Star Wars game is actually called Massive. Which, if I'm also being honest, is a little bit weird for a Star Wars game. I think that this is probably potentially just some type of code name at that. It also does seem that the two of them enjoyed working together on that previous game of Far Cry together, if Esposito does indeed have his number. If Moff Gideon was to appear in the story, it would hint at the time period of this Star Wars game is set in. If Moff Gideon is a part of the story, then it should be set around the time of the original trilogy. We've only ever met Moff Gideon after the events of the original trilogy and after the events of Return of the Jedi, so we don't really know what he was doing during the original trilogy and really when he did come into possession of the Darksaber as well. But the story could follow and allow fans to meet him in the earlier days of his life during the original trilogy, or even earlier on in the early days of the Empire, maybe eventually directly after the events of the Clone Wars as well and the prequels. Aside from that, the article says that they don't know that much else about the game aside from Ubisoft's statement on the initial announcement, but we do know that it's supposed to be an open world action game, which is shouldn't come as a huge surprise to those familiar with Ubisoft's gaming portfolio and Massive's previous efforts, which include 2 Division video games and upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, all of which are open world games and titles. And I must take a moment to apologize to you guys once again here. I am just honestly so confused. And now for those of you guys that have been following along here with the channel for quite some time, you guys would know that I kindly blindly am reading these articles as I'm recording, so I can also kind of get that little bit of a reaction for when I'm reading these videos. I would believe that Massive is supposed to be potentially another gaming studio or team that is underneath Ubisoft. That is my understanding, if I'm being completely honest, and that the Star Wars game isn't called Massive, or it's called like a code name or anything like that. So many apologies on that end of things, guys. As the article continues to talk about, Giancarlo Esposito also spoke more about Moff Gideon, talking about his wardens, who were created and assigned geographic sectors to watch over across the galaxy after the events of Return of the Jedi and the fall of the Empire as well. According to him, Gideon realized he was stronger than he thought he was of, and that he's stronger than all the other wardens, and started planning to make them listen to him, seemingly with the objective of governing them to all of himself and being the true ruler of the Empire at this time. Esposito then spoke about Gideon becoming quote-unquote drunk with power, though it's not clear if this is part of Moff Gideon's backstory or something that would happen in the future of the Mandalorian storylines, potentially with Season 3 or Season 4. More of Moff Gideon is always a good thing. He's such a cool villain, and many Star Wars fans very, very much love him. He's definitely up there and honestly my top 5 rankings for overall Star Wars characters, I feel like, at this point in time. No matter what stage of his life we meet him in, hopefully we can begin to see him in other Star Wars media outside of The Mandalorian, maybe in a few comics and books and maybe other parts of his life in different eras of Star Wars. From there, that's where the article ends. As I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have this full article linked down in the description down below for you guys to also read. I plan to come out with a different video here in just a couple of hours later on in the day at the time of recording and publishing this video regarding more Mandalorian Season 3 news, so stay tuned for that, as it is some breaking news with some leaked scenes there that have been going around, so stay tuned for that by hitting the subscribe button. I know that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this video, but I still want to notify you guys quickly on that, and maybe even then, by the time you guys are coming around to this video, that video is already out, so go check it out. I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys all think here about this potential Star Wars game. Would you guys want to see Moff Gideon appear in this Star Wars game? And at that, would you guys like to see Moff Gideon appear in other Star Wars medias and at different times of the Star Wars eras? Would you like to see more of a backstory for his character? And what would you guys really overall want to see? Maybe aside from him getting his hands on the Darksaber and how that really came down to be. Leave a like in the video if you did enjoy it, as it really just helps the channel, and check out an official Star Wars for more Star Wars related content, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.